Well, hello to everyone. It's beekeeping new technologies. Those there on the ground, those are pieces of foundation. Those are wax foundation, and this is winter here in Australia, and that's one of the nucs. I've got another nuc down by a canal down there, a few hundred metres away. There's my two hives. Like I was saying, this is foundation for frames that are put into a Langstroth hive, and in the background, well, there's a knife, and I need to cut this. I'll just show you this. What I'll do is I'll cut this, and it's not quite enough. This is a full depth foundation. Like that. One half of the wax there, I'm about to use on one of these frames. So I have these nucleus hives here. Sort of get back from it. There it is. These nucleus hives, and I'm building the frames. There's one I've just completed. Now, it's not all the way down, but the actual frame, you can focus on the edges. The foundation is just waxed in, and that's what this fire's about over here. Down here. Get past the marker area. Now that thing there. I'm melting some wax there. And I'll just set the camera up a bit. That polystyrene thing there in the background is a little bit difficult. You'll have to hang on a tick, and I'll bring the thing into wide angle. There. Now, we'll just see if that's all set up. We'll just cut this in half. They're both about the same size, but one half I put into a little can. So you're going to put that in the slot. Like that. Oh, quite a dust. Slot. Sometimes it's easy, sometimes it doesn't. Lean it 45 degrees, pull it up against the wall there. I'll see if you can see that. There, you can see that. The foundation there. I'll let it go into focus. The foundation there is sitting in the slot, and over at the fire is a can. And that's it here. This can here is melted wax. It's a bit hot, so I just move it back from the fire for a moment, just to cut off the base of a aluminium tin can. And what I'll do is I'll pour that, like this. Careful not to let it turn over. That's what the rub's about. The can's hot. It'll turn over. I'm going to pour it along there. It's going to run down. There. Look at the other end. Now, I was doing this once before with a cigarette lighter. That's just far too dangerous. Ow! The wax on me. Now that takes about 30 seconds for the wax to set properly and cool down. And this will only put the can near the fire. I'll show you. There's the can. You only put it near the fire, and it takes some time for the cans there. It takes some time for it to melt. It's winter here in Australia, so there's no fire hazard. And we'll take a little bit of a closer look here. And hopefully this is going to focus. Yeah, you can see the wax seam along the edge of the frame to the foundation there. A little bit of gunk gets in it, like bits of burnt vegetable, but there, that's how that's done. Now that's all the bees need to start on a frame. So if you we pull back here, let it go into focus. That's sort of all that's really required, even on a full deep frame. But it is a good idea later to rub around the edges with some wax, just to fold up some wax from that sort of thing, rub it around the edges so that they know to pull it all the way down to the base, because they will anyway, but in some cases they don't seem to. So the next piece of it is not dissimilar. It's around about the same thing. No great difference. I'm just having a bit of trouble getting the camera to sit still properly. That is on the lean there. Right, so I'm about to do this edge here, down the centre. I'll put that like that. See if that's, you can't see that very well because of the grass, but that's nice work when it's when that's centralised and held in place. That helps too. This is only down one side so far. However, pour it again. Just move and wash it back. Yeah. That's right. In the other side. Now it's got a seam on the other side. Also find one of these two sides is the one with a large gap. So, now here it is. Here's the can. Here's the other half of the piece of foundation. Break it, hold it up. And touch the can with the hand that's not covered there. Set that beside the fire again, in the ashes. Show you that again. Broken off. There we are, sitting beside the fire, and that'll take about 2 minutes, possibly. So see if I can sit that there. Now, I've got a lot of grass and it just won't sit. Yeah. I can accelerate that a bit. That's it. Move it in a bit closer. Yeah. Yeah. You don't want a full flame on the bottom of an aluminium can that you cut in half, only because aluminium burns through very quickly. Right, that's going to melt. Starting to hear noises out of it, like I say. Well, that's not enough for the seam down the bottom at this point. But it's getting there. Just a few more minutes. We'll have a look at the seam over here on it. That back down here. Wait till it gets into focus. Now there you can see the seam. We're in focus again, and that wasn't done very well there. Normally you pour it out and you want a bit of an angle like that so that all of that runs down. Right, you want that running down it. You get back to the can of wax here. Right, it's half melted now. Half melted. That's really enough to do it now. Yeah, that's what happens if you don't have it on an angle. You get a huge lump there of across the seam, even though there's a gutter in there that needs to be dealt with. And don't forget that's settled down that side there, so there's no wobbling around. It keeps it mid-blind. So put this back down and set it up again. Or should I set that a bit closer this time, I think? Yeah, that'll do. Now, the can again. That's the can. The can here. Up this side, and it will run down the seam. Get the pouring speed right. Fill up little gaps. happened last time. Would you? Overspill, you just rock it backwards and forwards until you got it sitting in place. Yeah, that's a really bad one too, but you know, well, it's not a really bad one, but it'll hold, that's definite. There's the wax is still melted in there. But that's now ready. We'll wait for that to dry for 30 seconds, and both seams are, yeah, see, that's overdone there. That wasn't on a slant, and that's what you get, a big huge lump where there's wax that didn't run down along the seam. So you need to always keep it on a slant like that when you're pouring it, and about 45 degrees so that it sits in the crease. It's just like welding. Right, so that's another frame ready. But that's a better way of doing it. Cheaper and much more efficient.